Alright, guys, I think this is the new cutting method. Weight loss, fat loss cutting method. Sticking to your calories method, basically, if you struggle with emotional eating, binge eating, all that kind of stuff. Mostly emotional eating and just eating whenever you want instead of actually when you're hungry and when your body needs food. How to avoid this? Well, one of the things I'm doing now is you can intermittent fast, which you could do like 16 hours fast, 8 hours eat, or you eat in the 8 hours window, and so that way you're forcing yourself not to eat in the 16 hours, and you're going to have emotions and urges to want to eat then, but you are basically forcing yourself not to eat in those other 16 hours. Over time, your brain learns to basically handle emotions and urges without the food, and that's basically the idea. Or you can do it with how I'm doing it is meals. I'm doing 3 to 4. It doesn't really matter exactly how many meals, but 3 to like 5 meals, usually 3 or 4 meals a day. And I don't really have set times for my meals, but I have strict meals, meaning, let's say I'm having 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. When I eat breakfast and then I'm done with it. And I'm not snacking in between breakfast and lunch, and then in between lunch and dinner, I'm not snacking in between lunch and dinner. I'm just having those 3 meals. I'm having enough food. I'm getting all my micronutrients and macronutrients and calories within those meals, but I'm not, eating outside of those meals. And that allows you to, I'm bound to feel, there's going to be probably, if I eat breakfast at 8 a.m. and then have lunch at 1 p.m. and then have dinner at 8 p.m. or something, I usually have pretty late dinner, then that's like 4 or like 5 to 7 hours between each meal. I'm bound to have some emotions, some urges, some, feelings of wanting to crash out and just eat to deal with emotions and stuff. But since you're not allowing yourself to eat outside of those meals, you're still allowed to drink water, drink Diet Coke, all that kind of stuff outside of the meals. But the idea is you're not allowing yourself to use food for dopamine outside of those meals. And over time, you're going to retrain your brain to stop using food as, this thing just for dealing with emotions and coping and whatnot. And over time, you're going to retrain your brain to treat food more as this fuel source. And, that will basically allow you to eat a lot better and control your calories a lot better, because it's pretty much impossible to diet when you're binge eating and eating emotional eating all the time. It's pretty much impossible to diet unless you're eating low calorie foods all the time and doing tons of cardio, which I've been down that path too before. But then it just sucks because you're always just eating low calorie foods and always doing cardio. So do you want to lock in and not have a sucky life, or do you want to have a sucky life? You kind of got to decide. Lock in, guys. I'm locking in. So let's go. And what I'm doing is also, I'm doing that, and then I'm the meals, and then what I'm doing too is I am tracking calories and macros right now in an app in Chronometer, but basically what I'm doing is I'm not really thinking about the calories and macros. I'm just thinking, let me have the 4 balanced meals, with some low calorie foods in there, some high calorie foods, but just try and get some healthy fats, some proteins, some carbs. And then, let's say it's been a few days or some days, I'm starting to feel lower energy. Maybe I'm doing tons of cardio, burning through tons of calories, tons of carbs, and I'm starting to feel maybe a bit flat, a bit lower on energy. Instead of freaking out and analyzing my total calories and macros for each day, I'm just going to be like, okay, for my next meal, I'm going to add some more carbs, some more calories to it, replenish some of that glycogen. And instead, I would always just look at my carbs and calories, be like, oh, that was too low, that's why I wasn't feeling good. But that wasn't always the case. Sometimes it was my sleep issues, sometimes it was other issues, stress issues, but I would always blame it on calories and food. But instead of that, I need to logically determine whether it was sleep or something else. and I need to give it a chance to feel it out. And by the second day or the third day, if the issue's still there, then I can, in that meal, add in some more carbs, add in some more calories, see if it fixes it. So that is my plan. Stick to the meals every day and don't eat outside of those meals, so I stop emotional eating, and then eat. And if I'm feeling really flat, really low energy, really hungry for more than 1 or 2 meals later, so if, 5+ hours later, then add some more carbs, some more calories into that next meal. That's the plan, essentially.